Have you ever felt tired? Not from working too hard, but from explaining yourself too much. Explaining why you chose that path, why you said no, why you were different. Somewhere along the way, many of us learn to believe that peace comes only after everyone understands us. But what if that belief is what's been weighing us down all along? Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for all your support. In a quiet village surrounded by soft hills and slow rivers, there lived a young woman named Elin. The village was gentle, but it was watchful. People noticed small things. They noticed where you walked, how long you rested, and how quickly you returned home. Elin learned early to speak before silence could speak for her. If she woke before sunrise, she explained why. If she chose a narrow path instead of the wide road, she explained that too. Her words came quickly, neatly tied together, as if they were ropes holding her place in the world. She believed that if people understood her reasons, they would not question her, and if they did not question her, she would finally feel at ease. But ease never arrived. Elin worked as a weaver in a small wooden workshop. Her hands were steady, her movements patient. She wove cloth that was calm in color and simple in pattern. When others asked why her work was not brighter, she answered carefully. When they wondered why she worked alone, she smiled and explained. By evening, her hands were tired, but her voice was more tired still. Long ago, when Elin was only a girl, she planted wildflowers in her family's garden instead of vegetables. Neighbors asked why. She tried to explain. They nodded, but the questions returned the next day. The flowers bloomed anyway. Yet Elin learned a quiet lesson then. Being different required defense. That lesson followed her into adulthood. One morning, Elin chose to walk a thin path beyond the fields. It curved gently toward the edge of the forest, where the air felt cooler and the sounds grew softer. Few people used that path. As she walked, a woman carrying water noticed her and called out, asking why she went that way. Elin turned, ready with an answer she had given many times before. But the words stopped. They rested inside her, unmoving. She stood there, feeling the wind pass through the tall grass. After a moment, the woman shrugged and continued on her way. Nothing happened. No laughter followed, no judgment lingered. The sky did not darken, the earth did not shift. Elin continued walking, her heart beating faster than usual. Each step felt lighter than the last. She noticed the sound of her breath, the rhythm of her feet, the simple truth of being where she chose to be. She had not explained herself, and the world had remained whole. In the days that followed, Elin began to notice how often explanations rose to her lips. When a neighbor questioned her quiet nature, she paused. When someone asked why she rested by the river, she let the moment pass. Again and again, nothing broke. Some people looked puzzled, most simply moved on. Yet the habit was strong. One afternoon, an elder asked Elin why she refused to sell her cloth at the market. The familiar pressure returned, tightening her chest. Elin looked at her woven fabric, then at her hands. Slowly, she answered only that this was how she chose to work. The elder nodded, as if that were enough. It was then Elin understood something important. Her explanations had never protected her. They had only kept her busy proving her right to exist as she was. Silence, she learned, was not weakness, it was space. As weeks passed, Elin's days grew calmer. She walked when she wished, she worked at her own pace, she rested without apology. Her actions became steady and clear. Words were no longer required to hold them up. She returned one evening to the old garden where wildflowers once grew. The soil was quiet now, but the memory remained. She saw the child she had been, uncertain, eager to be understood. That child had not been wrong, only afraid. Elin began weaving a new cloth, one meant for no one else. She chose threads that pleased her alone. Each careful line felt like a promise she had waited years to keep. People noticed a change in her, though they could not name it. She spoke less, but stood more firmly. Her calm did not demand attention, it invited it. In time, fewer questions followed her steps. She had taught the village something without saying a word. Elin learned that peace does not arrive when everyone agrees with you. It arrives when you stop asking for permission to be yourself. When she finally stopped explaining herself to everyone, she began to live with quiet confidence, and that was enough. What would you have done in her place? Comment it below. Thanks for the watching.